Hey, welcome. Today, we are diving into two spiritual traditions that are, well, just incredibly deep. Kabbalah, the mystical heart of Judaism, and the revolutionary teachings of Jesus. Now, you might think they're from completely different worlds, but stick around. We're about to uncover some connections that are genuinely surprising.
So that really gets us to the big question for today's explainer. What in the world connects this ancient, often hidden Jewish mysticism to the very public teachings of Jesus? I mean, we're talking about two paths that literally shaped Western civilization. One is often seen as this really complex, esoteric system, and the other is famous for its simple, open message. So where's the common ground? Let's find out.
All right, here's our game plan. First, we'll get our bearings on these two mystical paths. Then, we'll look at how they each map out the divine. From there, we'll dive into what they say about our role in a broken world, explore the journey of inner transformation, and finally, ask if they're both heading to a shared destination.
Okay, let's kick things off by just getting a clear sense of these two incredible spiritual journeys we're putting side by side.
So on one side, you've got Kabbalah. You can think of it as the esoteric soul of Judaism. It's a path for those looking to understand the hidden machinery of the universe, the very nature of God. And on the other side, the Gospels. These are the public teachings of Jesus, and they're a direct call to everybody for a total, radical change of heart fueled by love and faith. So one is kind of like a secret map, and the other is a sermon shouted from a hilltop.
So, with such different approaches, how do they actually map out ultimate reality? Let's dig into their ideas about God and creation, because this is where the first really fascinating overlaps start to show up. Kabbalah starts with this absolutely mind-bending concept called Ein Sof. It literally means without end. It's this idea that before there was anything, before the Big Bang, before time, there was only this infinite, unknowable, boundless divine reality, a God that's just beyond any description we could ever come up with.
Okay, so here's the puzzle, right? If God is everything and everywhere, how can anything else even exist? That's where this beautiful, mystical idea of Tzimtzum comes in. The idea is that the infinite contracted or withdrew into itself, creating a sort of vacuum, a space where our universe could unfold. That analogy of God taking a deep breath to make room for us, it's just a perfect way to picture it.
So, how does this infinite, unknowable God interact with our very finite world? Well, Kabbalah says it happens through the Sefirot. These are like 10 divine emanations or attributes. You could think of them as channels or maybe colored lenses that the infinite light of Ein Sof flows through, becoming things we can actually understand, like wisdom, justice, love, and beauty.
And this right here points to a core tension that amazingly both traditions wrestle with. In Kabbalah, you have the completely transcendent Ein Sof, but you also have the Shekinah, the immanent, dwelling divine presence that's right here on the world with us. Now look at the Gospels. They talk about a transcendent Father in heaven, but Jesus says over and over again that the kingdom of God is immanent, that it is within you. You see? Both are holding this delicate balance, a God who is far beyond us and a God who is intimately within us.
This leads us right to our next big point, the state of the world itself. Because both of these traditions seem to agree that something is fundamentally broken in our existence, and they both give us, humanity, a massive role to play in fixing it. In Kabbalah, this mission is called Tikkun Olam, which means repair of the world. Now, this isn't just about social justice. It's a cosmic principle. The idea is that creation itself is fractured, and that through our actions, our good deeds, our prayers, we are literally partners with God in gathering up the scattered sparks of divine light and restoring harmony to the entire cosmos. It's a huge job description. Now, compare that to the Gospels, and you see a really interesting shift in scale, but the theme is so similar. Tikkun Olam in Kabbalah is about a cosmic repair job. In the Gospels, the focus is much more on personal redemption. The mission of Jesus is described as repairing the broken relationship between individual people and God. So one is about fixing the cosmic architecture, the other is about mending the personal bridge to the divine.
But here, and this is huge, is where they come together so powerfully. The main tool for all this repair work is love. In Kabbalah, Chesed, which means love and mercy, is one of the most foundational divine attributes, something we are meant to imitate in our own lives. And in the Gospels, agape, that selfless, unconditional love for God and for your neighbor, is the absolute highest commandment. It's the engine of the whole thing. Different names, but an astonishingly similar ethic.
So let's just do a quick check-in on what we found. Both traditions see God as being both way out there and right here with us. Both see the world as needing to be fixed, whether on a cosmic scale or a personal one. And both give humanity this absolutely essential role in the repair process, a role that's all about action and love. Pretty cool, right?
This all brings us to the inner world, because it turns out it's not just about fixing things out there. A huge part of both these paths is about transforming the world in here.
Listen to this line. It's from the Gospel of Thomas, which isn't in the Bible but reflects some of the really mystical thinking in early Christianity. It says, "If you bring forth what is within you, what you have will save you." Just let that sink in for a second.
The core idea is this. The kingdom of God, that connection to the divine, isn't just some place you go when you die. It's a state of consciousness, something you uncover deep inside yourself, right here and right now.
And you see this deep focus on inner work in both traditions. For a Kabbalist, the tree of life in its Sefirot isn't just a map of the cosmos. It's a psychological map for refining your own soul. And for Jesus, especially in teachings like the Sermon on the Mount, it's all about your inner motives, your purity of heart. He makes it clear that what's going on inside you is way more important than just going through the motions of religion on the outside.
So, where does this all leave us? We've seen different words, different systems. Are they really pointing to the same thing? Let's try and bring it all home. I like to think of it as different maps, but maybe they're describing the same mountain peak.
First, we gotta be honest, they are absolutely speaking different languages. You've got Sefirot and Tzimtzum over here, and you've got parables and the kingdom of God over there. The vocabulary is not the same.
And they're working with different frameworks, for sure. Kabbalah gives you this incredibly detailed mystical cosmology. The Gospels give you a path of faith and salvation centered on a person, on Jesus. The blueprints look different.
And this is really the heart of it. Despite those different maps, they seem to be climbing the exact same mountain. They're both on this shared quest for wholeness, for healing a broken reality, and for bridging the gap between the human and the divine. So, to wrap up the key takeaways from our little exploration, both of these traditions manage to hold a God who is both beyond us and right here with us. Both give us a critical role in healing a fractured world. Both put love right at the center as the main tool for the job. And both, at the end of the day, teach that the real journey, the most important work, is inner transformation. And all of this leaves us with a final question to chew on. Whether we see the world as needing a cosmic repair job or deep personal redemption, whether we're looking for God out there or in here, how can these ancient maps, with all their amazing similarities, help light up our own search for meaning in the world today? It's something to think about.